There's a few park attraction things that are coming to Disney here coming up. They're doing an Avengers ride. Supposed to take you to like Avengers Tower, Wakanda, Sokovia, shit like that.
You said there was a what'd you say? New Villain Land.
There is a Disney Villains Land that's going to Florida. The Avengers ride, I think, I was just talking about, is going to the one in California. This one's going to the one in Florida, the Villains Land, which I think is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool.
Better get that up before October.
For what Halloween villain? Or you think just it would be a good attraction to have at Halloween period?
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be built by October, but maybe.
No, it definitely won't be.
Some of these $billion films that they putting it to good use.
It's going to be for Halloween Town.
For Halloween time. Now, hey, you want to draw me back? Yeah, we could do a Halloween time. Halloween time was busting on TV only.
Facts.
You didn't even have to put it in the theater.
Multiple Halloween Town movies.
Okay.
The fact that you remember it just off the top of your head.
It's Halloween time.
I know, but I would have to hear it to be like gross. Anyway. I thought we said fast mode.
Yeah, my bad.
Tim Bruce, creator of Harley Quinn, made the Penguin a woman because Batman lacks good villains and they need more women.
So okay, all right. The we do need to check and make sure that Tim Bruce is the creator of Harley Quinn, because it makes the quote even stupider. Like it makes it even dumber. If you are literally the creator of
Bruce
the quintessential
What? Bruce Tim.
You know what I call him?
No, we said Tim Bruce. Bruce Tim.
Yeah, okay.
With 2 M's.
But you are the creator of the quintessential female Batman villain. No.
Outside of animation, Tim has also drawn and written several comic books. Tim, okay, he wrote the origin story of Harley Quinn. Yep.
Yeah, so he created Harley Quinn. Yeah, bro. This is pretty dumb shit here, boy. Not to mention, Harley Quinn's not the only female character that Bruce got beef with. What about Poison Ivy? What about Catwoman?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just dumb. Dumb. Like, you could have at least had an original take on why you made her. Oh, well, you know, some of the characteristics of the Penguin I thought would be interesting if we put it on the backdrop of a female character, or I felt like some of the conflicts a woman would go through play well into the Penguin story. No, Batman ain't got no girls in his story. Which is stupid, which is dumb, and also false.
Good luck finding a female Danny DeVito.
And it's not like, oh, you know, it'd be so much easier to take any amount of female DC villains and make them have a run-in with Batman. Oh, no, because that could never happen. The only thing that makes sense is that we take a male character and make her female because people aren't paying attention to Catwoman and Poison Ivy. Harley Quinn has got to be one of the most popular female villains out right now, if not the most popular. And you created her.
Especially since Margot Robbie.
Fucking hell.
At this point.
Woo!
All right. We already talked about the Immortus scenes being removed. On to something that you found very interesting. In fact, you demanded that this story be put into Behind the Cape today. Really weird. Joaquin Phoenix and Danny Ramirez.
I did not demand.
Joaquin Phoenix and Danny Ramirez are supposedly working on a NC-17 gay romance film.
Not anymore.
And Joaquin just said, nah, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, so Joker and Baby Falcon were going to be doing it in an NC-17 gay lover film. And Joaquin Phoenix pieced out 5 days before they were supposed to start shooting. According to the studio, though, this is where it gets a little bit nuts. And I'm really interested now in how this movie was going to go. Because they say that they are probably going to lose millions of dollars on it because Joaquin can't be recast. Why?
He's playing himself.
That's the only thing that makes sense, right? Like if he was actually just gonna play Joaquin Phoenix, but that's so crazy. That's crazy.
It is very crazy.
Is Joaquin Phoenix coming out in movie style?
Yeah,
in movie form.
He saw Danny Ramirez in Captain
in a movie.
Captain America was like, yeah, I want some of that.
I could
NC-17 movie.
Imagine I don't want to imagine, but I could only imagine the scenes that are going to be in a NC-17 gay romance film. Jesus Christ!
No thanks. Not my speed.
Joaquin. First of all, I'm salty at Joaquin too. First, don't play the fuck out of crazy. You signed up.
Facts.
And didn't drop out until 5 days before he was supposed to be on set. So don't play the fuck out of crazy now.
Perp said Joaquin wasn't trying to get backdoored.
But he signed up for it. That's
Hell,
so funny.
This wasn't in the contract. I'm out of here.
This movie was rated NC-17.
That's crazy.
Y'all could hump with a pillow in between you and get ready with R. NC-17 is above and beyond.
Insane. Chummonger said, just get Ezra Miller. No, Ezra Miller can't play Joaquin.
Maybe one of the Ezra Millers can. Maybe one of them can.
One of them.
We need to ask all of them.
Yikes. All right.
They're like Venom. We are Ezra Miller.
Yo. Anyway, American Sports Story. The Aaron Hernandez story should be actually pretty dope. I love what they did with the OJ story, so I would assume
this is going to be a crazy little story.
I would assume
that
they could do this pretty well.
They always throw some little details in there that weren't necessarily privy to the public.
You think they worked the gay angle?
Oh yeah, there was. There was that whole thing. I forgot about that shit. He had like a gay lover right before he died,
and that's why he killed him, because apparently he was going to go public with that shit.
And then he killed his wife's brother.
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Like there's a whole bunch of shit with Aaron Hernandez, yo. You think, fam, you know what is fucking hilarious about this whole thing, and I know he's gonna milk every fucking second of it. You know Zach Smith is gonna show up in this show. Because he recruited Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah. Yep.
He's gonna show up.
Nah. That's funny.
Who the hell are they gonna get to play Zach Smith? That is funny.
That is hilarious.
And he is going to milk that shit. Ugh. That's funny.
Crazy. Yeah, no, I'm excited because they do stories really well. Henry Cavill apparently got sick from smoking a cigar.
Man, this was the most babyish attempt to give somebody props for being dedicated. So apparently, in the scene where Cavalry showed up in Deadpool and Wolverine, that cigar he was smoking, he had been smoking it all day while they were shooting. So for 8 hours, which doesn't even sound what cigar can you smoke for 8 hours?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That
is crazy.
Let me get one of those. Let me get one of them. First of all, you're not smoking.
He didn't have multiple?
If you can smoke something for 8 hours, you're not really smoking it. An entire work day? Anyways, I imagine what they mean is that he kept putting it in and out of his mouth a lot for the scenes, and he was trying to stay in character, so he left it in a lot throughout the shooting day. Did he literally have it in his mouth from 8 to 5?
No.
Don't believe it. But whatever. But then he makes it even more soft by saying, oh, yeah, when you got a big tummy ache, he was sick to his stomach from smoking a cigar. All that clean living and hyper training just so you gonna throw up the first cigar you have?
Yep.
Jesus, Henry Cavill.
That cigar. We healthy over here.
Man up. Somebody get this man a tampon.
Clean living. Yikes. Okay. WB Discovery says the value of their networks total $9.1 billion less than what they originally thought.
Bro, Tony Robinson, did he pull out and then light it again? Oh, the cigar. Damn, I thought he was talking about
Joaquin Phoenix.
Jesus
that's
Christ.
insane.
Oh,
that is insane.
I thought he was talking about Joaquin Phoenix.
Yikes.
I guess that could be, but even the fact that you taking breaks in between smoking makes it less amenable to you having a tummy ache after you smoke it. First of all, having a tummy ache after smoking a cigar is nuts in itself.
Sure.
Oh, my stomach cut. Like, tell me this your first stogie without telling me this your first stogie.
But the fact that you had Joaquin Phoenix on the brain was kind of crazy. Right
It just kind of went together.
No, but WB Discovery.
WB Discovery is worth what, $9 billion less than they had previously ascertained themselves, which sounds like bullshit. Sounds like people were just fudging numbers. Now, when it's Bob Chapek over there overestimating value and lying about numbers, oh, well, he had to go, and we got to get the guy who just retired to come back and run a company.
Yeah,
WB Discovery can fudge there's just a clerical error of just about $9 billion.
Yep.
In worth.
Facts.
Which means that in Q2 of this year, so fiscal quarter 2, the fiscal quarter runs in threes, right? Obviously. So Q2 would have been
fiscal
April.
Quarters are 4. There's 4 fiscal
Threes.
quarters.
There's 4 quarters of 3 months.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, run.
I thought you meant there were 4 quarters or 3 quarters.
No, 4 quarters of 3 months.
Gotcha.
So in Q2, so that would have been from April to June, right? They actually lost $10 billion. Sorry, not million. $10 billion with a B.
Insane.
Now, if you don't think now, after I told you that Superman Legacy isn't going to be the biggest debut for a Superman in Warner Brothers history, I got a beach house I can sell you in Idaho, like Frank Ocean. The studio's basically banking on that.
Absolutely.
You can't tell me you lost $10 billion in a quarter, not even over the entire year. What else is coming out from Warner Brothers that's supposed to recoup that? This is in the same year that they released Dune 2. Dune 2 got released this year and was insanely successful.
Yes.
This is in a year when you released the second season of House of the Dragon, which is supposed to be driving subscribers up on your streaming service.
Nah, but we broke. $10 billion down.
$10 billion in 3 months? If Superman Legacy is not a $1 billion film, I don't know if we're going to be able to see the rest of this of the first phase of James Gunn. Where's the money coming from?
William Murdoch said they spent a lot on that Flash movie.
Oh, they spent an unholy amount on that Flash movie.
Sure.
And again, even after they knew that they spent an unholy amount making it, they still had to put more money up to get it in the theaters. That's why I said there's never really a point where you should just keep spending money. That is a fallacy. I spent too much, I got to keep going. No, because you're just going to spend more, and that more is infinitely worse than where you are right now.
Facts.
You are literally convincing yourself that you'll be better off in a worse off position.
Facts. A Different World sequel. Is it a sequel or a remake? That's coming on Netflix.
I'm thinking this is either a sequel / reboot. So it's going to be following Dwayne and Whitney's daughter going to Hillman.
Okay. I guess that's technically a sequel.
A sequel. Yeah, spin-off-esque. Sequel.
So only the sequels and remakes work for black content?
I mean, to Netflix's defense in that regard, the new the new content creators either have abandoned that type of work out of fear of it not getting picked up, or B, are not interested in making that type of content. Save Lisa Ray. And a little bit of Lena Waithe. She has a little bit of that energy. I just don't think she's as good as Lisa Ray.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my point. Is like Rap Shit gets canceled after 2 seasons, and it just seems like the ones that are working are the Bel Airs, and well, no, I'll take that back.
Bel Air's up
there are
right
some.
now. I mean,
there are some black shows that are still going. I mean, The Chi is still going, isn't it?
The Chi is still going. I think we're primed for a renaissance for black television shows. Right, trends repeat themselves, and once upon a time, all of these networks, the major networks, NBC, ABC, CBS, all had a black sitcom. They all had a black sitcom. It was as much of a normality to see a black sitcom on network stations as it is to see reality TV shows nowadays.
Yeah.
And so the fact that trends tend to perpetuate, they come back around, and now the streaming services are the ones that are hurting. Those are the ones I anticipate seeing going that route. Netflix is already they're already on it, right? They have the show with Mike Epps, the Upshaws. They've got CBS has kind of dipped their feet back into it with Cedric the Entertainer. He's got a show coming out.
Does he?
Matter of fact, they Michael Wayans.
I didn't see that, and Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans, yeah, they have a show coming out on CBS soon.
Yeah.
Right, so I think we are headed back into a renaissance for black television. If we can get Mona Scott and her filth off of TV,
and we got Abbott
any
Elementary
faster, Abbott Elementary, Wonder Years, which I only give half credit because that is a reboot of another show that already existed,
but it wasn't.
But it's of the same vein, right? We're getting wholesome black content back on network TV. When the streaming services catch up and realize that that's what people are watching now to the tunes of millions of people week in and week out, then that's when you'll start seeing it be more of a copied thing. More and more studios will start to pick it up.
That's fair. All right, last thing I got is A Night of Seven Kingdoms is the next Game of Thrones show.
Hopefully Steph Curry not involved. Absolutely, keep Steph Curry away.
Yo.
What'd you say?
A Night of Seven Kingdoms.
That's the next spinoff series in in Game of Thrones. So this series is going to take place 100 years prior to Game of Thrones, 100 years after House of Dragon. Hate that we're choosing to do this now. Jesus Christ. And we're choosing to do this now because you're kind of doing this thing where you're ping-ponging on the timeline. And your storytelling has to be seamless. And I've already, now that I'm rewatching the second season of House of the Dragon, there were some telltale signs early on in the season that we just kind of brushed off because the dialogue's been very good and they gave us the Battle of Request. But there were some problems going on with the writing early on in that season that I didn't realize until I went back and watched it 2 or 3 times. That probably should have gave us a sign that we weren't going to get the payoff that we were expecting. Just some inconsistencies in how they were presenting the story. Probably have to get a stream together one day and talk about that. But in any case, are they tight enough? Are they efficient enough to tell this story through 3 different eras and not give up the plot of what's happening in House of the Dragon? So in other words, the blacks and the greens fight for the throne happens 100 years prior to what's going on with the Tales of the Seven Kingdoms, right? We're going to have Duncan and Egg in that show. Egg is Aegon Targaryen, another Aegon Targaryen. He was actually the heir to the throne. He abjugated it. He is the maester at the wall now, right? Duncan is a world-renowned knight that's been talked about throughout the histories. Like they were talking about him in the original Game of Thrones series. How the hell are we going to see those 2 characters together in this show without referencing what happened to Aegon's lineage not just a century ago? The biggest war of all time in Westeros, where most of the dragons are ripped from the world, and it's not going to get referenced at all. We're just supposed to go back to House of Dragons season 3 and forget that we heard any mention of how the world is post that war. It would be like telling a story about World War II, right? We stop it at where America has linked up with the Allies. They finally jumped into the war. End of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then we start some other whole new show, and we start it up in Vietnam.
Yeah, it'd be kind of crazy.
I'm like, but wait, hold on, man. They literally talking about World War II in Vietnam. They're using that doctrine for war doctrine in Vietnam. They're giving up a lot of the plot here, especially since they were so, I know you didn't watch it, but they were so like breaky with this season. They didn't want to give too much up. They were very slow and methodical. And I think a lot of people let that shit go because they thought they were going to get this big payoff with these dragon battles, and it just didn't come.
Isn't that basically, from what I've heard, I guess, the same thing that happened with the last season of the actual Game of Thrones show?
Well, the last season, they just ran out of material. George wasn't done writing the book. They had to come up with something on their own. They butchered the characters. There's just not much to say about that. This one, they couldn't have possibly ran out of material because they're not that far along in the story. Excuse me. All things considered, they're 2 seasons in, and we haven't really launched anything. There has been one dragon battle.
Damn.
There's been one. So,
House of Dragon, only one dragon battle.
Yeah, only one dragon battle through 2 seasons.
Yikes. All right. Anything else for Behind the Cape?
No. Let's get out of here. We've been here for a minute.